Gibbs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. Welcome. Today I'm going to be playing with the Square Snippets Designer Series paper, which kind of goes with the... No, did I say that wrong? The Joyful Squares bundle. So there's a bundle. They're in the mini catalog. I will show you once I flip you over. Stamp set and dies. And then there's a designer series paper that it's not a suite, it's separate, but they can go together. They don't have to go together. I feel like a lot of people see it and probably think that it's more for scrapbooking. But I want to show you that it's great for card making also. I did make 3 cards today with that. I am going to bring in the Stampin' Positioning tool, the new tool that Stampin' Up! Just released. It is now, it's no longer available for purchase for demonstrators, but it is available to new demonstrators who are purchasing the starter kit for February. So the starter kit is $135. You get to choose $165 worth of product, any product that you would like. There is no shipping on that, and in Alberta there's no tax on that, so no GST. And you get the positioning tool for free. Now, I showed the tool last week. I hadn't played with it much. I was kind of seeing for myself what it was like, but I really didn't take the time to play with it. And so the more I play with it, the more things I see that I missed, and I like it more and more. But I just wanted to share a couple of those things with you that I thought were problems maybe last week that I was worried about, that I was using it kind of wrong. Not really, but there's other ways to use it to solve kind of the problems I thought that could be problems. And yeah, so I'm going to bring in the positioning tool with that. And what else? So bonus days has started. So last month, if you made a purchase over $60, you would have gotten bonus day coupons. There's $6 per $60 that you spent. You'd have to go back in your email and find those. You can now redeem them during the month of February. So you want to redeem them because they will go away at the end of February, I think. I'm not sure the exact, if it's like the last day of February or what the dates are, but make sure you use those if you're putting an order in. There's a new product of the month. Now, I attempted to print it out because I don't have it yet, but my printer is not printing blue. My blue is clogged. So this looks like pink and greens, but there's a lot of blue in it, like where it's, I don't know if it's where the pink is or where the kind of browny green is. It's actually like these rich bluey greens. So don't take the colors as is. It's just the patterns that you're seeing. Colors are all wrong. I'm sorry. I have to try and get that fixed. I've tried cleaning the heads a few times and then it started working, and then I went to print this and I'm like, oh gosh. So anyways, I have to try and figure out how to get that working again. So there's okay, what did I say? Bonus days. Oh, they also just released a whole bunch of new products in the last chance items, which are really good deals as usual. And I wanted to point one out because I do have, hi Linda, I have a Linda and Linda here. Hi Linda's. I have a cake day class this Saturday. I have 1 kit left. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to get you the stamps and dies on time, but if you don't already have the stamps and dies, they are on sale. So you could get a deal. So anyways, I will give you a little sneak peek of that once I turn you over. The starter kit with the positioning tool for free. And there is also a new class that Stampin' Up! Is hosting on February 19th, I think. Yeah. So, and that's with the lovely Blossom, I want to call it. Let me see if I wrote it down. my thing is behind my camera, so I have to like, I didn't write it down. I can't remember what the suite is. It's on the website where it shows classes. The class is only $35, I think, Canadian. But then if you want to make the exact same cards, you would need to purchase the suite and some other things if you don't already have them. It's a suite that was released on the online exclusives a while ago. So it's one that I have in my collection. So I'm thinking about doing it. And I was thinking if other people are interested, I could do like an add-on class to that and take your stuff that much further. So let me know if you're interested in that. Other than that, let's get turned around and get started here. All right, let me try not making you too seasick, just a little bit. Okay, oh, sorry. There we go. All right, so to start, like I said, I have the Cake Day class coming up on Saturday. This is the little purse to hold the cards that we're making. We're making 10 cards, five of each different design times 2 of each. Did I say that right? Anyways, so I think there's only 5 in here, but it's the cake. It's a birthday class. So I have 1 kit left. If anyone is close by and wants it, or I mean, I can mail it to you and you can watch the recording. The other thing is I've been talking about it and I still haven't released it because the stamps, which I was trying to look up just a second ago and I didn't get there before I started. The Sweet Bugs stamp set was not available the last little bit. So originally my class was going to be March 7th, which is a Saturday, but I think I might have to push it a little later. So it's going to be a mini album class. I saw this suite and I totally saw an album to be made out of it. And then I think it was Emma Goddard. I did a class with a bunch of demonstrators and she invented this picnic box. However, I had to adjust it to fit my album. But isn't it super cute with the picnic kind of tablecloth, and it opens on either side. And then the album, let me just try and, my album is not finished. I'm still in the middle of designing it, but I'll just give you a quick sneak peek of the, so I'm using one of the kits, which is the, it's a combination of the Sweet Bugs and the As You Grow kit, because I thought it was perfect with all the stickers. And the colors also kind of went together. So this is the album and it's got all the pages inside. So you'll have 12 months. If it's a new baby book, you could make it for, you could do like a mushroom theme if it's like for a teenager, but then it just kind of slides in like so, and then we'll make a card, and then there's a little tag to go with it, and then you have the perfect gift for someone, or even just something to sit on your coffee table if you want it for yourself. So anyways, I will post it as soon as I have a date when I know these are back in stock. And not that you need the, it's more the designer series paper that we're using. These are just extra, like if you don't want to fussy cut some of the bugs and stuff, then you could have the dies. If you want to make more embellishments and the designer series paper isn't enough for you, then you would need the stamps. But you really don't need this to make the album. So keep that in mind. That is coming up. All right, on to today's fun. It is this So it's in the mini catalog on page 54 and 55. There's the Joyful Squares bundle and the Square Snippets Designer Series paper. Now, I kind of messed up when I was designing my cards because I totally missed this paper. I thought there was only the two papers. Totally missed this one, so I'll show it to you now. But it's not going to be in my designs because I missed it. Silly me. Let me just move all this extra stuff that I pulled out. Need as much space as it can get. All right, so here's the bundle. So these are the dies. It's just a small die set and just a small stamp set as well. But some fun different things. And as you can see, like you could totally see how to use these with a scrapbook, but it's using it with cards that might be a little more daunting. So these are the three papers, and they have very subtle back sides. So you could totally use those if the bright squares scare you. But I want to show you how much fun you can have with these. So I'm going to just cut them up. I find the easiest way to do this is to cut everything up, and then you can kind of sort them into kind of color combos that you like. So I'm going to do these. There's 2 pages that are 3 by 3 squares, and then there's, so I'm going to cut them together and hope that they're pretty lined up. If not, they'll be slightly off, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. It's handmade. It's not perfection. All right. So we've got those. I should have pre-cut some of these, but I just wanted to let you see kind of how they came and how you can just, how to start, where to start, and how quick it is to kind of get things moving along here. I thought about doing more Valentine's cards, but I did so many early on. I wanted to do, I've been wanting to play with this paper for quite a while, so I decided to pull it out. And then I kind of got stuck because I wanted to pull in the positioning tool because I had missed those. And then last night, I was going round and round in circles, but I decided just to stick with what I had and not reinvent the wheel. Okay. If you have the guillotine, the old guillotine cutter, it would probably be a whole lot quicker to use. But I don't know if there's a faster, maybe if I had done, oh no, I did the, I don't know if there's a quicker way to do this, but it always feels like it's taking me long when I'm on video and I feel like I'm not doing anything exciting. While I'm not doing anything exciting, if you're watching the replay, or even if you're watching live, I'd love to hear from you. If you're watching the replay, please type replay so I know you're watching the replay, where you're watching from. Let me know you're here. Say hi. Don't be shy. I do try to watch the comments. Sometimes I miss them when I get going, but I do try and go back. All right, so we've got our big, these ones are 4x4. And you can see we kind of have like some color this color surprised me. I really liked these polka dots, and I'm not a big fan of Cajun Craze, but that's what this is. And then with Pretty in Pink and Strawberry Slush, I just totally love that. This color, I'm not sure what color this is. Someone, I can't remember which demonstrator, is wondering if it's a new color that's coming out. It's not listed. So there's Misty Moonlight, Pretty Peacock, Strawberry Slush, Blueberry Bushel. Like, it's not listed in here as one of the colors. It kind of has the same vibe as the Orchid Oasis, which was retired. So maybe it's a new color coming, but like, you know, these kind of go together. And just kind of go in and sort your colors by what you think might go together. Now, I haven't seen these ones yet, so I did not include them in my sorting. So I've got extras now that I did not have before. Now this one could go here or here, I guess. Okay, so see, yeah, I'm gonna show you something here right away. I'm learning things as I go. And this, I really, I guess that doesn't really go there, that goes more here. There. I really like the Pool Party and the Darling Duckling combo. I mean, I love Pool Party. My walls are pretty much Pool Party. I would say they're a mix between Pool Party and Cloud Cover. So we've got these ones. These ones I didn't do anything with, but you can kind of get some ideas when you start. Kind of like this one could maybe go with that one. Could do something with this, but like I said, I missed a whole sheet of papers when I was doing my cards. So I might change up the one that I did. But this one I'm actually seeing, so this is already colored, but when I was doing mine, I only had this one, and I ended up taking my blending brush and adding Pretty in Pink to it, and it looks exactly like this. So you can change things up. Any of these, really. Like if there's some white, you could add a whole other color and change it to a whole other combination. But anyways, we're going to start with this color combo because I quite like it. And we're going to cut it up because as what I was thinking was obviously you can't fit 3 squares. Well, you could, but on a card base, right? So I wanted to try and do like 2 squares and a rectangle, but again, that doesn't fit. So no, I didn't write down my measurements. I think I cut the squares down to 2.5. So these two I'm going to cut to 2.5. You could probably do this a more scientific way and do some calculations. But as long as they're both, so 2.5 and 2.5 would be 5, right? And then if you wanted an edge, so you're kind of doing the math on it. So I'm not sure Yeah. So if you want the edge, so then if this is 2.5 and this would be 4, I think. Oh, I did 4 and 1/8. Hang on, let's cut this down better. Let's do the 4. I think I wasn't doing the math when I did this, and I just kind of made it fit because I had pre-cut my pieces. And then I'm assuming this is 5.25. Okay, let's do that. Because then we have should eek. Now if you wanted to cut a piece of white or another pool party to stick this onto without sticking it directly to make sure it fit, then you could. Now this piece, so 2.5 minus 4 would be 1.5, and then minus an 1/8, I guess. Should we do 1.25, or should we do, let's see, what would 1.25 look like? I think 1.25. Or should I start with 1 and 3/8? Let's start with 1 and 3/8 because I can cut it down, but I can't make it bigger. Hi, Debbie. No, I'm not going to onstage. You know, I wanted to, but every year onstage is at the same time as my son's, one of his national competitions. And I had booked to go to his competition. Yeah, 1/8 is 2. Let's keep it at 1/4. I had booked, it's out east this year. And so I had booked to go. I think I might be canceling it now just because my foot, I finally have my foot in a shoe, but it's still not great. And so that kind of looks like it fits. I want it to kind of look as cohesive as possible. So I think I'm going to keep it like this and go 1 and 1.25 again. There we go. And then we just have to cut it down to, what did I say this was? 5.25. And this is 3. 5.25. Too much math. 2 inches I should need. Yeah, so I did not book to go before I decided and either way, to fly is what I'm worried about with my foot swelling. So no, I'm not going. Are you going? I know it's I think I did. I've done one. I don't even know if I've done one actually. I did it when they were virtual. I think I went to go to one when it was in Canada, and I can't remember if I ended up, something happening. I probably, my son's competition wins over maybe 1/8 of an inch more. Anyways, I don't know how much longer I have to watch his stuff. It's the last of the bunch, so oh my gosh, I just made that too short. What did I just cut? What am I doing? I'm losing my mind. Okay, well, it is what it is. Well, let's get this glued down before I really mess things up. I can't talk about one thing and do something else. Too much for my brain. Okay. I was at the doctor yesterday probably too much information asking about hormone replacement therapy. And I was telling her that my brain is like, the brain fog is insane, like remembering words, and it's just horrible. And she's just like, oh, well, you know, at this age, things are stressful and, you know, kids are busy. And it's like, you have no idea. This is like the quietest my life has ever been. My kids are, 2 of them are out of the house. Life is good. Like my brain, it's my brain. And yeah, she was young. Obviously hasn't been through it. But yeah, they like to say it's like depression or anxiety, or like she didn't even touch the memory problem. I'm like, lost my family doctor again. So on the hunt. Won't get into that. All right. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be lots of fun. Stampin' Up! Does a good job. So even though I piecemealed it, it's okay. Expect to have lots of fun. That's for sure. All right, so then I pre-cut out the circle from the dies. So in my original one, I just used a punch, but there is a circle, and it's kind of like not a perfect circle. So I thought, oh, I'll just pre-die cut that. Oops, I already have the stamp out. And then I wanted to stamp this little snippets of joy. Now, since this is just a small circle, I'm going to not use the positioning tool. Because this is where a pre-cut would be very hard to get it to stay where you want it. And this is the only stamping on this card that's being done. And then I took some Darling Duckling and the 1 7/8 inch punch, which is available, I believe. And it's just a little bit bigger than the circle, so it gives it a little border, kind of to break. I find there's quite a bit of white on here, so it just kind of gives it that little pop that it needs. Yeah, you'll have to let us know how it is. I know there's lots of prize patrol and fun, and you get the sneak peek of the new annual catalog. You get to pre-order even earlier than other demonstrators who didn't go. Usually, oops, I forgot. I added some string the last time. You'll get to order sooner than others on the new stuff. Usually a limited like selection of stuff, but still it's fun to get your hands on the newest, latest, greatest. I'm hoping that they'll have some, I like techniques and tools, and I find that they've really gone away from a lot of that stuff. So I'm hoping they'll have more, be releasing some more stuff. But now with the Stampin' positioning tool, it's a little bit better. All right, so we've got some twine, and then I just put it on a thick white background. And voila. So this is just a super simple, quick and easy, but great color combo. I love how when you use the Designer Series paper, it can show you color combos that you might not have thought to put together, or you might have thought you don't like certain colors, but then when you see them with other colors that you do like, it's like, oh, like that Cajun Craze one. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna totally use that color again. So that's card number 1. Super simple, quick and easy. Now for the next one, I'm gonna pull in, so like I said, I don't think I had any of these when I did this. I think I might have had this one. I don't remember this one. I don't know about this one. So we'll just set those aside. We'll keep it. Well, yeah, we'll keep it. Should I or shouldn't I? Maybe I'll switch it. Instead of well, no, I'll show you what it looks like to add the blender brush to this one. I don't know if this one was there, but that's okay. I need to, so I'm going to cut the square frame with this one. I did not grab my mini here. Woo! Oh, the sky is falling. The cards are falling. Okay. At least it fits in the mini, so we can quickly run that through. And then you've got, if you centered it really well, which I didn't take the time to do, but it's not bad. You could use 3 pieces, 2 frames and 1 middle. I'm just interested in using this frame. So these ones I will set aside. And then, let me just grab the actual card so I know what I'm doing here. All right, then what I did was I took these 3 big ones and I cut them down some more. I know, craziness. But instead of cutting them into squares, I cut them kind of at angles. Oops. Now, I know I have 3 sheets, which is probably a no-no, but as long as you kind of go back and forth and make sure it's cut through, you should be able to. I don't really like having a straight edge, but that makes it pretty big, but that's okay. Okay, so that one was that way, right? Eek. And then maybe like that. Okay, so then you've got 3 different patterns cut up. And I've got a piece of basic white. I'm going to end up cutting this down, but I'm starting it at, actually, at the 4. Because then this is 4 by 4, so I know it'll go straight across. So I can start with one of these. Now, if you want to be really quick about this without having to glue each piece down, what you can do, I used glue, but you can put a piece of adhesive sheet in the same size down and then just stick it all down. I'm just going to use glue. I think it'll be just as quick to do right now. But So we'll just kind of go in order, but with the different pieces. So we've got wait, oh, I did not, so when I did this, I didn't use them in order. I just kept going to make them fit. See, now this isn't gonna fit because this is supposed to go this way. So we need, I don't even know what I did. I did some magic, apparently, to make it fit. This is very strange. Strange, strange, strange. Okay, this fits. Almost. Not quite. What else could we put here? Put that. And then something like that. And then cut it down. So, but it's kind of funny how we've got bigger. Anyways, it's random because it is, it's all over. You could, if you had longer pieces, you could do like, I think in my head, my original vision was to do like a array all with the angles all going one way, but because my paper isn't long enough, that didn't work so good, but this works. And I do, as quick as the adhesive sheet is, it's harder to position it because as soon as you stick it down, it's stuck. Whereas with the glue, you have a bit of time to move it. And if you didn't get it right in the right spot, like I can kind of push it so it butts up and then kind of is all even on one side. And then if it's uneven on the one side, I can cut it down. So I didn't put glue right on the bottom edge of this because I know it's hanging off. So I wanted to not get glue everywhere. So you can see there's quite a bit of edge there, and then and I did go even too low with the glue, even though I thought I was being good. Okay, then my plan is to cut this down 1/4 of an inch. On the top, on 2 sides, if I can. Oh my goodness. I just cut my nails. My nails are so brittle these days. This was 5 1/4, right? So we're at 5. There we go. Okay. So now we've got a nice, clean background. I thought about stamping right on here, but then that would be kind of plain. So that's when I decided I wanted to add a bit more. So I had this and I had my frame. Now that looks quite busy with the orange. So when you add the pink, because I did not, wherever that piece went that had the pink on it already, I did not realize it existed. And I was like, oh, they must have added pink to it. Do you ever do that where you just kind of try and figure out what someone has done? I think that's half the fun. So I just came in with my brush and the Pretty in Pink, and off I went. Now I have Pretty in Pink with Peach Pie, which then looks very similar to, oops, not this one, this one. So you can see, I mean, this one is a bit darker maybe, but pretty darn close. And I think it goes with this. And of course, this is still quite busy. So what I did was I cut out the frame again, but just I used the insert part as the white. So that'll be my, where I put my sentiment. And then I cut out the little paper holder clippy thing with some gold foil paper. And that adds some nice addition there. So then I'm going to stamp thank you, and I will use the positioning tool for this. I could just use a stamp, but it's probably, so one thing I wanted to show you with this smaller piece, because I did mention in my last video, if you were there last week, this has give to it. And so you're probably like, well, how do I make sure if I'm stamping it twice? The best way is to push against it and it just straightens it up. So you're not pushing it up and you're not pushing it down. You're just kind of pushing against the pegs that it's hooked onto so that it straightens out. And then you should get a good, if you have to stamp it twice, it should be in the same place. So, oops. Oh, I put it on upside down. That's okay. Now, again, this is a very small piece, and I'm just going to line it up about centered. Make sure that that's, and I'm going to put a magnet here, wherever I can see that it's not going to stamp, and maybe a magnet like right here to try and hold it in place. And then we will ink it up. So you remember I said like you want those feet off if you want to have more or less, but there's feet on both sides of this, so you still get a bit of give if you're pushing hard. Oh my goodness. Why did I put it on backwards? Okay, so I'm going to straighten it out, and then I'm going to push down. And I'm just going to hold, I'm not pushing down super hard, I'm just holding it so that the ink has a chance to soak in to the paper. And I don't need to stamp it again, but I will. Just, you know, we're testing this. We want to know that we can stamp it without getting it a double. So again, I want to make sure it's straight and down and up, and it's perfect. No, just a super crisp, no halo. So as long as you push it so that it's straight on, you won't have that movement that you might be worried about. That will get you a not so perfect print. So like I said, there's tricks to this that I didn't realize when I was kind of reviewing the tool. So I didn't want to give it a bad rap. Not that I gave it a bad review. I was, you know. And one thing I did notice, so one of the other demonstrators that does scrapbooking, she was testing it out with 12 by 12, like stamping directly on 12 by 12 paper. And the nice thing with this is because there's no ledges anywhere, you can move your 12 by 12 up and down side to side and be able to stamp anywhere that you want without any problem. So it definitely got the thumbs up from scrapbookers, which is, you know, it's nice to have a tool that can kind of do it all. I think the Stamparatus that we had, it was 6 by 6, so it was a little small to use the 12 by 12. And the Misty that I have, it has ledges, which is perfect for the grip mat and holding little pieces without having to use magnets. But again, I think they even have a 12 by 12 big Misty that you can buy for scrapbooking. But then you're buying multiple things, and I like to have all in one. So then I put the Cajun Craze in behind, and isn't that, it just makes it pop. Like I barely ever, oh, I forgot to put my little clamp on here. I barely ever use Cajun Craze, and now that I see it with the pinks, I'm gonna use it more. I have to remember to use it. Yeah, they're like, the colors are just awesome. Oops. Do you guys have dimensionals everywhere? I don't as much with Aspen, who is our dog that we have now, our bigger one that passed a couple years ago now. I can't believe it'll be 2 years in March. Crazy, but she was big and always laid next to me by my chair. And so we'd come upstairs from the craft room and she would just always be covered in dimensionals. They just stuck to her like Velcro. Whereas Aspen sleeps in her little doggy bed kind of off towards the wall, away from the desk. She likes to see me more than she likes to be next to me. So she does not take the grunt of the dimensionals. But I just always, like, I'll come up and I'll have stuff stuck to me in places. Yeah, isn't it? It's simple. Like, it's just easy. Like, just play with the papers. Like here, obviously, I didn't really go on the square theme, but you can use it for anything, really. If you're a quilter, you could, or if you have the old, which I have, but I didn't pull them out, the dies that had like they made pieces. It would almost look like a quilt because it had stitching. You could do that. You could make your own stitching if you wanted to make it look like a stitched quilt. But yeah, this is perfect for like little quilting designs, but super quick and easy, kind of unique. They're unique even though they came from a designer series paper that, you know, you think, oh, well, everybody is using it, it'll all look the same, but it doesn't. Okay, the last card has lots of squares, and I probably should have pre-cut them. That was silly on my part. I'm going to pull out, I'm using my favorites here. which are the Pool Parties and Secret Sea. Although this is a new favorite. Oh, all these color combos I would say are my, but this is kind of my, I love Secret Sea. I have fallen in love with it. I use it all the time. And then of course with the Pool Party, it's even better. So I might just bring this one into the picture because I didn't have it. I ended up using this one. Okay, so I'm going to use this and this, and this, maybe? Not this one. Those four. Okay. Then I need to cut them up again. This time I used 1-inch squares. Now, I think somewhere, I don't know where my square, I thought I had, I don't think any of our new style punches, when I say new style, I mean it's been a long time. This style, I don't know if Stampin' Up! Has ever had square punches. The old ones, the black ones, I know I had some squares, but I'm not sure if I got rid of them because I don't really have anywhere to put those style punches. But then I was sad that I didn't have any squares. And I thought I kept things that I didn't have. So I'm not sure. I'll have to look. Anyways, all that to say, it's because I had to cut these down instead of punching them. I love punches where you can just mass produce easily. I need 3. I should be able to get 3 out of this because they're 1 by 1. I think I started out with 1.5, but then for the pattern I was doing, it was too big, and then I went to 1 1/4, or I think I went straight from 1.5 to 1. I might have been able to do 1 1/4, but then I wouldn't have been able to do this other fun part that I did. So anyways, okay. So we've got all our little squares here, and then I still have some, now I have rectangles that I can use, and this is like the perfect size for using with cards or scrapbooking. Probably a 3 by 4. 3 by 4, yep. All right, let's move those out of the way. Then I've got a piece of basic white again that I'm gonna glue these onto, but I'm gonna lay them out, and I know that I'm leaving, I think I cut this to size, I'm not sure now. So I'm kind of leaving the same gap around each one. As I go. So this one you would not want to do an adhesive sheet. And I feel like sometimes they have like one side is bigger than the other. I noticed, and I kind of missed it the first time I was gluing these down. Ugh. No nails, I tell you. See, this one's longer, and I don't know. See, I think this one's just longer. But that's gonna stick out. I might have to fix that. It just seems so much bigger than one. Oh, yeah. See, and when it's punched, you don't have those problems. All right, and then we will probably use one of these maybe. And then oh no, I needed 4 of these. I forgot. Oh, I forgot. And then this one, or would it be better here? And then the light one there. And no. Light here. Then what? No. What am I doing? What did I do wrong here? I think this is what I did wrong. I think this needs to be here. And then this one goes here. And then this here. This here. There we go. That's better. Okay. I couldn't figure that out. All right. So then we'll glue these down. Oh my goodness. So like I said, you wouldn't want the adhesive sheet here, or else you'd have like sticky in between each of the squares. And it's easiest if you do the two sides kind of and space them with the border, and then you'll know kind of where to put your middle one. Right in between. I just realized this one's long again. I got a little generous, apparently, with my cutting. And I could have done this bottom one first to then make sure those two middle ones were equal. But I'm going to, you're not going to see, like it's getting kind of covered up. You won't see the whole thing, so it's not, again, it's not a perfect and then once you have them laid out like that, then you're just lining them up to each other. So that's easy enough to do. I probably should have added a bit of Secret Sea blending on here just to darken it up a little, but that's okay. You'll see my other one has the dark, it has two different dark squares on it because I didn't have this option. I can't believe I missed a whole piece of DSP. Oop. See, this one is, it's that little bit longer. You know what, I'm just going to take my snips. It's crazy how just a little bit can, and maybe it's my eyes, I don't know. Okay, so we've got all of our squares inside of squares. Then I wanted to put some kind of border on this because the blue was just too plain. So this is where I took my tool here, and I can't remember exactly what I think I do remember. All right. So for this, I wanted to stamp. Now this is the part that I missed when I showed this last week. Oh, that's not going to work. Let's go up here instead. Let's go here, and I want more, so there. Okay, let's pick that up. Now, last week when I showed this, I was just trying to line it up on grid, and I was like, there's nowhere to push it against. You know, there's these little knobbies. It's going to move. So I don't know if you can see. There is a little triangle here, and it's not a divot or anything. Like, your paper can still go above, but what happens is you hit your paper against these two pegs and line it up with that triangle, and then it's exactly how you wanted it. And then you can stamp, except for my magnets in the way. I might even put this up here. There. And then I'm going to take, so now the other thing you can do, kind of like with the Stamparatus, I don't know if you remember, people were always doing like wreaths and stuff. This makes it really easy to do wreaths. I'll show you like a little mini one, but even with this idea, I'm not doing a wreath, but I want to go around my paper. And I can't remember if I used this technique on this part, so forgive me if I don't think I did, but let's see. The nice thing is you can check. It doesn't quite line up. Maybe I had it further over. You know what? I'm just going to stamp it like this and see if it works. We're just going to go with it. Okay, because I'm not going to see this inside part. I'm not worried that it looks funky in there. Don't worry. I have not lost it. Maybe I have, but... Okay, and then I have one more. Okay, so now you can see I'm missing parts, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this stamp. And I'm going to simply place this here. And I'm going to pick it up. Oops. But the nice thing is, though, even though it moved, I can push it back to where it was, and then it'll be in the right place. that. And then I just need it on this side. So put that back here. And it should be in the right place. And voila, we've got, it actually kind of looks cool when you see it, but anyways, it obviously works better on a square paper, which I will show you in a minute when I do my little mini wreath. But now that I've got this, I'm just going to put it on top, and I'm just getting kind of the little bit of raise out there as a design. Now, you could totally eyeball stamp it. You do not have to go through, but you know, if you're someone with arthritis or a shaky hand, or you're just worried about not getting a good stamp the first time around, that's where the tool really helps and comes into play. So then we'll go on another white. Okay, and then we've got a pool party card base. That will go on. And then obviously we need a sentiment. So for my sentiment, this is where I decided to try and do the wreath with, it's a little bit small, obviously, so it doesn't show up super great, but it works nonetheless. I can't remember if I did it with this or the small. It doesn't really matter, I guess. I'll just clean this off again. Take this off. And we'll put our little leaf, but first, so here I've got a 3x3, I think, yeah. And I'm going to put that in that little triangle spot. And then which way does this leaf turn? Okay, I'll kind of go like this. Okay, and then you just want to make sure that it's still in that same spot. And then, oops, I forgot I was going to use pool party. And then it's the same as before where you're going to rotate it. Now, obviously, if you have a bigger something, you would just rotate it 4 times and it would make your wreath. With this one, you're going to have to go around twice because the leaves are quite small, but they still have kind of that bit of turn to them. So this will be available to customers eventually. So now that, since it's already in the corner, I need to wipe my stamp. Make sure it's clean. And then I need to position it so that it fills in my gaps. So I kind of want it like so maybe. Maybe a little bit more. Oops. There. Okay. And then we're going to go around 4 times again, and it'll fill in those blank spots and make you a nice little wreath. Oops. Make sure your magnet's not in the way. And one more. Turn. And voila, we've got a cute little wreath. And then, so that leaf was from the stamp set from the, what's it called? Joyful Squares. Square Snippets is the paper. I wish they would just name it all. They name the dies and the stamps now the same, but I wish they would name it all the same. Be easier for my brain. Then I took the Stylish Shapes dies. Now, are these still available? I don't even know. So you could make a bigger, which fits pretty much perfectly. But I found it was taking up too much of the card space. Like that's just too much. It takes away from your whole square thing. So you could use this one, or you could use the circle from the dies, which might be a little too, I think it's a little too small. So this circle, it cuts off some of your wreath, but I feel like it's a good, or you could go with a square and just cut this down. Let's do that. I'll show you the circle that I did. Let's see if we just cut a square. What do you think? Should it be a square or should it be a circle? Is that too much squares? Let's see. I don't mind if I cut off the tip of a leaf here and there, because I just feel like it's so much white space otherwise. No, see, that's too big still. So I'd pretty much have to cut my wreath out anyways. So what do you think? I know there's a delay in the video, so I'm not trying to ignore if you've answered me already. It hasn't popped up yet. I'm not ignoring. But I think we should do a circle. I could be wrong. And try and center it. You still have the inner part of the wreath. I mean, you could also use the wreath for something else and just use a plain circle. But so see, it's still giving you the wreath vibes. You haven't lost that. And then I'm just going to stamp the good times. I used black on my original, but I think I'll use Secret C because I don't know about you guys, but like the soft, the memento is just hard to get a really good, nice inky, whereas with the Secret C, it almost looks black, but you always get a really nice print. So I did that, and I'm not going to take the time to do it because I've gone well over an hour, and I'm sure you're bored of me by now. But I stamped the leaves again, and they have a die to cut them out. So I cut them out and I put them in behind there, and then popped up my good times. So yeah, those are my go with the Square Snippets Designer Series paper and the Joyful Squares cards. But those are my 3 cards for the week. Hopefully, if you have this one, hopefully it inspires you to take it out and play with it. I would love to see what you make with it. You could post it in the comments. You can just tag me if you're posting it on your social media, however you like to do it. But the circle's good. Okay, there. See, now it just came in. I'm glad I did the circle. Yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch, comment. It's always fun to have extra people watching and commenting, and I would love to grow the channel, so don't forget to like, hit that little thumbs up, subscribe. You can share if you know people you think would like to see the videos. I would love it if you would share them if you enjoyed it. Alrighty, you like the Secret C? Yeah, I love Secret C. It's so pretty, but all these color combos, like, I don't know. I know, Linda, you're not a big yellow fan. What do you think of this one? Does it make you like yellow a little bit more? I'm curious. All right. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week. It is nice and warm here for the next foreseeable future. Everything is melting. We're finally getting rid of all the ice, which is nice. And maybe now that I can get my foot in one of my shoes, I might be able to go out for a walk here and there. I'm hoping I can walk more and more. It'd be nice. All right. Have a great rest of your week. Take care. Hopefully see you next week. Bye.